Hey guys, what is up? Probably have an idea or a guess of what we are vlogging about today. Actually, I was already able to see Matt Reeves, the Batman, during a special press screening. But if you follow me on social media, that's at Ikacheng across Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, I haven't really posted anything about the press screening yet. That's because we are under embargo, so we can't even post that we've seen the movie. So by the time this vlog is out, the embargo would have already been lifted. That's why I haven't been posting anything about the movie, even though I so terribly want to already. But anyways, just have to keep mum for now. Well, not really, because I'm talking about it here during this vlog recording. So yeah, probably this is just a way for me to be able to, talk about the movie with you guys. Special press screening for Matt Reeves' The Batman. I saw it last Saturday afternoon, right after I got off work. Almost 3 hours long, so yeah, super long. I suggest that you guys grab a snack, eat, and make sure you go to the comfort room before sitting down for the movie, because it is quite long. But you really won't feel that it's long, because it's actually a good piece of thriller movie. You guys might not know it, but actually in the comics, the Batman is known as the world's greatest detective. So there's been many movie iterations of Batman over the years. There's like the campy versions of Batman, like the more serious ones. But Matt Reeves' The Batman is like, I think, the first one that really dives into this detective side of Batman. So it actually has a bit Silence of the Lambs / Zodiac Killer feels also. So that's what I liked about it. I actually expected a bit of that whodunit vibe, because I saw this interview of Robert Pattinson, who of course plays a Batman in this iteration, and he talks about Batman being the world's greatest detective, and not that many people actually know this about the character. It's a big, well, the movie starts off like as a big whodunit. The feel of the film throughout is like, it's very mystery thriller type. And the Batman, he's there are like these really violent murders going around of important people in Gotham. So of course the Riddler who is behind it, the Riddler played by Danno. I was already able to write my full review, and I have it up here on the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. So our friends from Samsung loaned this to us. So I'm using this as a guide, sort of, it's just so I know, so that I won't forget anything, when discussing the movie with you guys. Going back, the Riddler is played by Danno. So I saw like a lot. There's been like criticism of his costume when the first images came out, probably because he doesn't really resemble like the old Riddlers in the past, and it's actually pretty simple. The getup is pretty simple, but without spoiling anything, all that I can say is that there's a reason for the simplicity of the costume. So that comes along in the movie later on, but I won't reveal it. So, don't hate on the costume, because there's actually a reason why it is the way it is. So yeah, that's, I'm leaving it at that for now. I actually also like the chemistry that Robert Pattinson had with Jim Gordon, who is played by Jeffrey Wright. They really have, of course, here in the Batman, which takes place 2 years after the Cape Crusader officially goes on his vigilante spree in Gotham City. So Jim Gordon isn't the commissioner yet. I think he's a lieutenant here. So I really liked the relationship between the two of them. It was really like good cop, bad cop, but the bad cop is a vigilante kind of thing. So I really felt that the two of them were friends, and it's an unusual relationship, but one that works in the film. So as I mentioned, it's a very the film like it's a good example of a detective story, and of course you have your detectives sort of in Batman and Gordon. So I really like their back and forth. The relationship felt authentic. Speaking of which, they also had Robert Pattinson also had like a good chemistry with Zoe Kravitz, who of course plays Selena Kyle / Catwoman in the movie. So you really feel this like the sexual tension between them is like super palpable in the air. And of course there's this is she a friend or is she a foe question that hangs throughout the movie. So I really like the chemistry that they also had between them, and it was really bittersweet by the end of the film when Robert Pattinson looks back at Selena Kyle. So there's just like there's that longing and there, and you know that he's really giving something up. So yeah, that was like a bit of a bittersweet moment there. For this Batman movie, we actually hear voiceover, so we get to hear what Batman is thinking. And as I mentioned, this movie, it's not an origin film. So it's 2 years after he first puts on the cape and the cowl, and he is questioning himself, whether if the city is worth saving. And later on, that's during the first part of the movie, and later on he realizes that because in the trailers he says that he is vengeance, and people call him vengeance, and he realizes that he needs to become more than just vengeance, that he has to become, he doesn't really say the word hope, but in a sense he has to become hope to this city, which is Gotham. And in an eerie kind of way, Gotham City actually reminded me a lot of Manila, the capital of the Philippines, because sad to say, like the corruption, the drugs, the politics, and it's election season over at Gotham, and it's election also over here. So really crazy. And even the things like how the streets are so littered, and the rains, the flood, the traffic. So yeah, it actually it really reminded me of my own, well, not my own home, I wouldn't say, because I don't really live in the city, but what I see as our capital, like the dark side, the slums and all. So there, as I mentioned, there's actually a lot in the movie that echoes real life in a creepy way. And as you're watching it, you're thinking there's no way that this can happen in real life. But then you realize that with the headlines lately, it can happen. These things can happen, and that just makes it even scarier. That the only difference between the film and real life is it's the hero element in it, and that there's a Batmobile and and these crazy villains. But essentially deep down, these things, these elements, fear and hatred, they're here in real life. So that kind of was a creepy thought for me. For this film, so I mentioned villains. We have Danno, who's playing the Riddler. Their costumes are a bit toned down. They're no longer like the loud, campy styles from like Tim Burton's Batman film. I have to give props to the hair and makeup department for how they were able to transform Colin Farrell, who plays a penguin. He's absolutely unrecognizable in this movie as a penguin, and it's really like a scary look. And he also plays the penguin well. So yeah, kudos to the hair and makeup team and to Colin Farrell for the performance. Danno, he also gave his own twist to the Riddler. Of course, We all remember the Jim Carrey performance, but of course, this is a different kind of Riddler, and I think that because the film is, as I mentioned, it's like very Zodiac Killer slash Silence of the Lambs. I think like the perfect villain for Batman to go against in this kind of movie is the Riddler. So there's like really a lot of puzzles here that ciphers it the Batman has to solve and get through. So yeah, it was fun because it's like you're also thinking, the audience is also thinking along with the Batman, as he's trying to solve all of these gruesome murders of really important people in Gotham. And, he slowly uncovers this long-going secret, about the city. And it actually comes back where Batman slash Bruce Wayne has actually, he has to face, ghosts from his own past. So, as I mentioned, it's not an origin story, so we don't, see his parents being killed in an alleyway and with the pearls and all. So we don't see that, but the essence of this trauma, Bruce's past, is very much alive in the film, and we see that through this boy who lost his father, and just his really woeful stares when Batman looks at him and the boy looks back. That Bruce Wayne feels like, he's looking at himself when from the time when he was a boy and, his parents were killed. So there's also this, whole question of the Wayne legacy. So for Batman, for Bruce Wayne, he stubbornly thinks that the Wayne legacy is, him being the Batman, but certain events in the film would, I'm sure would have him second guessing that. And Alfred in the movie is played by Andy Serkis. I wanted to see more of their relationship. I think the movie is almost 3 hours long, but I wanted more Bruce and Alfred. I hope that they would explore more of the relationship, although they do have a pretty dramatic scene or two in there. I felt that it needed more screen time. So yeah, that's me. One thing about the movie, so it's 3 hours long, right? And as things were slowly wrapping up, and I was already like relaxed, and I already sat back in my seat, and then suddenly I was like at the edge again because oh my gosh, it's not yet over. And then I was like out loud in the cinema, I was like shouting, what have you done, because really, surprise, there's like a bigger, well, I wouldn't say third act, but so there's a bigger act waiting, after all is said and done. So that was like completely unexpected, and I guess another reason why you wouldn't feel that the movie is so long, because there's just so many things happening, and really big things, like especially this one by the end. I love this whole mystery noir detective element. It's just very different, makes this Batman film very different. And of course, there are so many beautiful shots also. A particular one that I like is Batman leading a group of citizens to safety amidst, under the glare of a red flare. So I have to give props to director Matt Reeves and the cinematographers. They really stuck to this like black and red theme throughout the movie, and it's very, very consistent. And that was a beautiful shot. Going back to that one where Batman is leading the citizens to safety, with that red light. So yeah, I think, and I mentioned in my review that I think this is the point in the film where he realizes that he has had some sort of an effect to the city. That's where I think he also realizes that he needs to become more than just vengeance. He also needs to become a beacon of hope for these people. He talks about, because as I mentioned, there are some voiceovers that the Batman does, so that's why we sort of get to hear what he's thinking. And he talks about scars. So of course, as a character, he's very scarred, like, you know, with the trauma of losing his parents, and, you know, physically and emotionally scarred, I'm sure. And he talks about these scars, you know, these wounds healing, becoming scars, and that can actually draw strength from these past, you know, the pain and these scars. You can draw strength from them, you know, to continue to fight, to continue to move on. So yeah, I think that was like a very beautiful message, and you know, something that as an audience, this hero is already telling you that, you know, so you wouldn't have to guess anymore. So I guess that's the good one of the good things about, you know, the voiceovers. And also, yeah, thumbs up for that. What else? So Robert Pattinson really does a good job here. I wouldn't mind if he continues to, you know, play the Cape Crusader. He really did a good job of like playing a young Bruce Wayne, a young Batman. Yeah, you know, despite the earlier misgivings when he was first cast, he really did well. So good job. Yeah, of course, there's a bit of a teaser in the end. You know, is it really the end? Question mark. The Riddler. But yeah, there. If there was going to be a sequel, I'd definitely be on board. This Batman movie from the Batman, you know, from Matt Reeves is a really refreshing take on the character. Even if, you know, there's been so many Batman films already, this one still feels fresh. So I think a good comparison, or a good as I mentioned, was like the Zodiac Killer and, you know, Silence of the Lambs. So yeah, there. That's it. Didn't feel like 3 hours, but for you guys, as I mentioned earlier, just make sure that you get your snack and go to the comfort room before you see the movie. And of course, make sure to follow health and safety protocols. So I hope that you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram at Ika_Cheng, and I'm also on TikTok at Ika_Cheng. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for you know, just listening to me blab about the movie. Thank you, Warner Brothers, for the advanced press screening. I can't wait to share my thoughts with you guys. So yeah, there's also a full review if you want to check it out. That is up on www.teampicheng.com/blog. And also, I do hope that you like our Facebook page, Team Picheng. So all of the updates are there, news on pop culture, and, you know, our favorite brands. You can find them there also. So that is it for now. Thank you so much, and keep safe. Catch you in the next vlog.